Hi there, Terry Cain here again with another episode of our local leaders. Today we are featuring Mark Shindemi of White Rhino Gifts in beautiful downtown Grimsby. Please let me introduce you to Mark.
Hey everybody, welcome to the store.
Thank you very much, Mark, for participating in our interview and being part of our local leaders campaign. I'm just going to step out of the video now and we're going to tour White Rhino Gifts. Okay.
Welcome to the shop. And
Mark,
thank
can you, absolutely, can you please describe your business for us?
If I had to describe the business, I think it's changed a little bit, but this is like a metaphysical shop, open spirituality, a gift shop. It's a business that shows you a different perspective of life. And there's a lot of hidden gems in here, from things about moons to some magical devices to things we can wear, things we can play, things we can hang. I try to kind of embrace many cultures and many spiritualities because that's what our world and our community is made up of. So that was a big part of it, is how do I include everybody in something that I love, which is getting to know ourselves and things that we can feel and smell and wear to make us feel good.
Right. And how do you feel the community of Grimsby has embraced this business?
I'll tell you, when we pitched this idea to a few people, whether it was either locally or outside of Grimsby, people were like, oh, that'll be interesting with metaphysical and magic things. But to answer your question, and I'm pleased to answer this, we were welcomed with probably the biggest, warmest hugs and appreciation. I couldn't believe the different age groups that have approached me, whether it's the quotes on the board outside, or it's just the feeling of the shop, it's what's available, cards or whatever. People they loved it because it was different. It had never been in a place like Grimsby, and I think stores like this are good in all communities because it's a neutral space.
Right. So for those of people from Grimsby that haven't been into the shop, maybe we could take a quick little tour and you could show some of the items that you have for sale.
Amazing.
And
I would love to.
Perfect. Follow your
Okay. So there's a lot of things to see. I'll bring you to the crystal section.
Sure.
Because the crystal section itself has become probably one of the most popular. Crystals are interesting because a lot of people will explain to me or ask me, well, what is it about crystals? Well, crystals grow. They've grown in the ground. They're like us. They are energy based and they connect with our energy. So whether we display them, whether we wear them, whether we place them in different parts of our home, they can work for us. They can make us feel, and they've got different properties. So this tends to get a lot of attention. And just placing these crystals has a vibe. It really does. And even if you don't believe in it, you can't denounce it because it's something that people, and it's nice. They're beautiful colors. They're like us. All right? So from the crystals we can display and hold to the crystals we can wear with rings, bracelets, pendants, even crystal water bottles. So having crystals with our water charges our water. I've even got sprays with crystals in them. So what you see as you come around here is a little bit more jewelry oriented, but then we got chimes. Chimes are something that is not new to this world. People like the sound of it. It's relaxing. It changes the environment. So we try to have all sorts of bells and jingles and mirrors, things that are going to entice people, but at the same time, they can decorate their own lovely space. Magic wands, found by yours truly. After a while, I started finding these in the forest going, they look like magic wands. So I just took them in the shop, cut them, sanded them a little bit, but tried to keep the natural integrity.
Have you tested them?
What's that?
Have you tested them? Do they work?
Them. Well, to me, when people ask me, like, how does it work? I said, well, you're the magic. I'll always go to that answer. You're the magic. It's the wand is an extension. Some people don't need that extension. They can use it themselves. But the wand was always something to guide and pull the natural power and energy from you. So that's what it is. So they find me, I put them on here, but more adults have bought these than kids.
Wow.
I'm not even kidding.
Very interesting.
Which was shocking. Pendulums. So as we there's a lot of divination with runes, things to help us answer questions. Divination will never tell you the future, but it gives people a peace of mind. Sometimes if they have a question, like, should I go on this trip, or is this a good relationship?
And what is like the importance of crystal? Like why would somebody want something crystal?
So some cases crystals can be really, really good for people that maybe suffer from anxiety, or are looking for fortune, looking for a new job, a new opportunity. So certain crystals can assist in calming us down, allowing us to relax, or bringing about opportunities. Things like pyrite or citrate, opening us up to opportunities. But I tell people, it's not the crystal, it's you. When you set the intention, so by coming in the store saying like, listen, I need something that's going to bring some prosperity into my life, that's great, you've already set it up. So I told them, but I want you to define what that is, because it's your definition, it's your understanding, it's your dream. And I said, if you can paint that for me, it will come true, because now you've felt it, you've described it, you've essentially said, this is what I would love to have, but then how does it benefit the world is always the magic recipe. So crystals can be used for calming, displaying something to welcome people. It can be used to create greater intentions, and it can also definitely be used to relax, soothe, balance. Some people
Right.
are really high energy, so it can calm them down, things like that. But it's a good question.
Awesome. And something very unique that you have that you don't see is a trading section,
Yeah, like a trading
or a
post.
bartering
Yeah.
post.
So as we go past kind of the divination section, which you see like tarot cards, and we've got our incense, which is this will never be boring because people love scents. The trading post. A customer came in, so I'm not going to take credit for this. A customer came in and said it would be really great if you had an area of things that, like, if we had things we don't use anymore, we could just bring. And we kind of all talked and said, like, yeah, like a trading post. She said, that would be amazing. She said, actually, as a matter of fact, I have something I will bring tomorrow, so you can start it off. So we got a shelf.
There's the trading post.
Yeah, we put a few items on there. And we've only been in this space for 3 years. Over the 3 years, so much. And just earlier this morning, as you saw, a lady came in, dropped off some tarot books, some used tarot cards. These are things that people are done with. It's not their junk. It's like, rather than giving it to, like the GBF over here or something else, or a Bible for Missions, maybe they feel that other people might be able to utilize these, and they do. So people come in all the time, they're trading, and this is just customer oriented. I don't control it, I don't sell anything on here, and that's my promise. And they can just come and go. They can come in, trade, and leave, and it still works its magic.
And no interaction
and they
with
don't
you,
have
whether
to.
they want to or
Some
not,
people
right?
do, but yeah, exactly. But I don't force it. The display over here, this window display, is something I try to do, just to kind of give people a window in to what the store is
Right.
about. Plants are a big thing in our store. I think it's a healthy thing to have in our home. The oxygen level, the peace, the tranquility, especially like the peace lily. You can't beat that. The naturalness, the real life in here. There's so many living things already with wood and medicines, so it really complements that. So I really try to decorate carefully with that.
No, it's very inviting when you look through the window. You want to come in and take a look around.
Yeah, and it's hard. Sometimes people look through windows and they're uncertain, so this kind of gives them a perspective, an idea.
Absolutely.
And then we've got a company I'm really proud that we support, and that's Ten Tree. Ten Tree comes from like out west in Canada, and they plant 10 trees for every purchase. So their fabrics are sustainable. They're planting 10 trees. They're allowing you to be a part of that process. So we wanted to have a local, something, within Canada. So
Right.
A lot of these products do come from Canada. We do from different parts of the world, but having, local makers that make body rubs and things like that, I wanted to have that in the store. But this is huge because I'm a big fan of the environment. I want our world to have plenty of trees. I plant trees all the time, but having this company, and that's why I even advertise it on our board, I'm proud. It's keeping up with the 10 Tree. It can get expensive, but it's worth it because wearing things that are breathable fabrics,
For sure.
and knowing that you've planted 10 trees in somewhere in the world, it's a pretty awesome thing.
That's a great feeling that your purchase has contributed to
Yeah.
something in the environment.
And some people will buy it and not even realize that. And that's a beautiful moment. I call that in the store, where like they're just finding it out for the first time because they just like the look of it, right? Like, find me in the forest. I mean, and they've got a lot of stuff. We have stuff
Very
from,
catchy.
Stuff from Thailand, stuff from Canada, stuff from all different parts of the world. Trying to give, and a lot of First Nations, and these are all First Nation artists that are making the dream catchers, the medicine wheels. We don't sell anything like that that's not First Nations made. My wife is Mi'kmaq, so she's First Nations. We know the importance of that, but it's just great that people can come in here and they'll ask, are they native made? And I'm with honor. I'm like, yes, even our
Right.
medicine pouches, native made. I think there are certain things that other cultures can't make. That just it doesn't work. And living in the times we do now, we realize, our indigenous First Nations people, that's all, Inuit and Métis as well. It's important that we house their stuff and we advertise it because that's a part of our country.
That's very
And
important.
I've always
And
felt that.
much respect for that.
Yeah, and I've learned a lot from First Nations people. They've taught me a lot, and it's the reason why I'll lead you over here to the reason why we sell medicines like sweetgrass and sage and Palo Santo. A lot of times it is frowned upon that people sell it, but sometimes it's hard for people to get it. And I do understand how we use these medicines, how we store these medicines. I was taught by First Nations people. It's the only reason I'm selling it. And I'm telling you in all honesty, I wouldn't even have come down this road if I didn't have any sort of information, because that's just disrespectful to sell something you don't understand. In all these products, I take the time to educate myself, and if I don't know the answer, I will look it up for customers, and I'll always admit when I don't know something. A lot of times with crystals, I don't. I don't know everything about medicines, but I do grow medicines, and I teach people what I know, and it blows their mind.
And naturopathic medicine is becoming very, very popular.
Yeah. And we sell harmonic arts, which kind of, dovetails off what you just said, which is like tinctures and things where you've got mushrooms and all sorts of like biodefenses and things like lion's mane and chaga that you can take in the morning to change the way we perceive or remember things, or our health, our gut health or whatever.
So everything is geared around the metaphysical journey.
And health and well-being.
And right.
It's a gift shop, and I'm not gonna, try to pretend it's not, but we try to have things here that are good for the soul. And that's a big part, is like, I wanted something that's gonna make people feel good. Something they can spoil themselves with, or they can find that one thing for that person and go like, you're never gonna believe what I found. So whether it's scented candles, whether it's real beeswax candles, or even, love cards to help, bring sparkle into your life, or mindful kids cards, things we can read to our children in the day or before bed. Just little treasures that are handmade or represent or are a part of another culture, whether that's faith or just the culture itself. I like people to have an experience at our store, and that's why I really appreciate this interview. Is like, I love this business. I love so much because it's a part of not only my family, but it's now become a part of this community, because their input, their questions, their suggestions, they've weaved. I couldn't help but weave that in our tapestry, because those are the people coming into the store, and even whether they're from Grimsby or not, they've impacted us, they've inspired us. Their conversations, their moments in here, their vulnerability. It has value to me, and this store is representative of everybody that comes into it. And I want it to be an experience. I want it to be a transformation. So if their day has been okay or been really difficult, they can come in here and listen to the shakuhachi flute or the smell of the incense and go, wow, if that's what happens, that's good enough for me. Them buying something, of course, is amazing. I'm running a small business here. It's good to have business, but I'll tell you, like, the stories and the moments we have in this store are forever remembered.
It's very easy to see how passionate you are about it. and
why-
that's
why we did it.
contagious to people,
That's why we
right?
started this store. Is that Shauna and I, my wife Shauna Daly, who also owns this, we were attracted to these types of stores because we felt that they were a neutral, a place that was welcome everybody, whether you're transgendered, whether whatever you are, define yourself as or recognize as. It's like you come in here, you're welcome. And we have children that love this shop, the beautiful elders and elderly people that come in here, and just like I love it. I love that it's open to anybody and everybody. Kids can play in here, not be bored. Even dads, can find a cool shirt or a hat, or can maybe find what their daughter's really into.
Right.
It's, to me, it's transformative.
There's that unique gift for everyone.
I like to think that, and that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Is trying to kind of carry those kind of products that appeal to everybody and change it up. Because I don't want to carry the same thing. Like, we've carried Tibetan prayer flags for a long time, but I like to have new items, that are something a little bit different.
Is that every time somebody comes in, there's something new for them to check out?
I think it's important. Those customers that come in all the time, I want it to be something different. We created this Uplift Your Spirit box where, people, everything here is $11, but if they get 5 items, they save $10 on the purchase. So again, it's bringing new items in, but it's giving our customers something exciting and different, and a different way to shop.
Right. And speaking of something exciting and different, you have created something in your back room that
or recreated. So I'm glad you asked. So, for 3 years, we've had a labyrinth walk. And a lot of people are like, what's a labyrinth walk? Well, you can say it's a meditative transformation, a transformational experience, a grounding experience. And we're going to take you in. We've had it back there. There was a little bit of a leak issue, so we had to repair it because it became such a valuable resource. And it was so welcomed by not only local people from Grimsby, who I love dearly, but even people coming from like Hamilton and St. Catharines and going like, I heard you had a labyrinth, because I'd have a sign and we advertise it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So let's have a
Absolutely.
peek.
Let's have a look at that.
And instruments, I make these didgeridoos, believe it or not, but these are a part of life too. This is an ancient way of being. Whether we say, a crystal triangle that we could meditate and open us up, or just drums from Senegal, right? African drums from Senegal that I buy from them and make sure it's from there, right?
Perfect.
These things are a part of all of our history, all of our DNA. So I might, you might be able to see. Let me know if I have to turn the lights on. I try to keep this space mysterious, but at the same time, this is our labyrinth, which is by donation. It's what I look at as a resource. We like to think that we always know what's going on in our life. Well, of course, we want that. But sometimes we don't know what's there. It can be hurt, it can be joy, it can be inspiration, it can be the next level of success in your life, which you will continuously experience. This is one way that many cultures around the world, and that's why we chose a labyrinth. This isn't linked to culture, even though you'll find this in a lot of churches, or faith. A lot of our ancestors did this.
Okay.
Yeah. Why did they do this? Well, I think they did this to connect with themselves, with the world, with ancestors, with their culture, with their faith. But like I say, I feel so much it's for you. It's a moment with you to be real. And I'm honored, and I say that. I'm honored the second time to draw it out. My wife painted it the first time, I painted it this time. It involves mathematics, but mathematics is our life. Everything we do is based on mathematics, the way nature grows, the way we walk. So we wanted to build something that was by donation. We also offer a monthly drum circle too, as another resource outside of our store. I do drum lessons, but essentially I like for us to have resources for people that are looking for something different to connect with themselves or a community. And this labyrinth has grown really, really popular. Yet at the same time, people will come in and not even know it's here. And then they'll be like, what's in the back room? What's a labyrinth? I'll talk to them for about 5 minutes and they're like, can I go in? And I'm like, of course. Sometimes on the weekend, it'll just be one group after another. I've had families in here do a family walk, so we usually set up a bench and things like that. So it's almost ready again. I've kind of dressed it up just so if anyone immediately wanted to walk it, now they can walk it. But there'll be much more coming to this space. There'll be tarot readings in here, and a lot of mediums come in here and do their sessions as well. And I'm hoping to do even like sound baths where I can play different instruments for people. Anything.
Wow.
Yeah, to allow people to come back to themselves. And in this time, and I say that now, I mean, like, the world has always had things that have gone on, but this is a very confusing time for some people. People don't know what's going on with our, climate change, with war back yet again. People need a safe place. And really, to sum up the store in this is to give people a safe, neutral space to be them, be proud who they are, and invest in them. And that's the most powerful thing I think I can say, because that's what keeps this business going, is the love of humanity. And in this case, is Grimsby. Grimsby people are like no other. I've lived in a lot of different areas, and the love, the kindness, just how considerate people are, and I see it in the store and I see it outside the store. Sean and I lived in this town for quite some time. We moved, not because it wasn't great, but we wanted to live out in the country surrounded by trees. But I'm honored. She opened her business now, Art and U Art Center, across the street, and we're White Rhino Gifts here, and we are, I'd say, honored to be a part of this community. These business owners, they're great people. It doesn't start here and just end here. It's every business. These wonderful, just intellectual, kind people with their considerate businesses that they offer. And when you come to Grimsby, it really is a hidden gem. And I'm glad they're investing in a greater downtown entrance to give people a spot to sit, because what people feel here, I think it's because of the escarpment and how close the lake is that there's an energy of comfort and balance, and I believe that's what goes on here. This is a magical place, and to have a business here, I consider myself lucky, and we'll do this as long as we can.
Well, it's truly amazing to hear that the community has supported you and you give back to the community the same. So shopping local is extremely important to you.
I think it is. I think, and we saw that with the pandemic. Grimsby, yet again, took care of their community. They came in, there's people I didn't even see, and they said, I just want to come in because I know you guys are having a tough go, like all these businesses. Shopping local is important because you get to know your community. Right now you're being social, whether you like it or not, and you're seeing the great things offered in your community. Why would those be offered? Supporting local means that you've got a face that you're feeding. Sometimes when we go to these big, conglomerate, big corporate stores, I'm not saying don't shop there. What I'm saying is we don't really know. And we don't know if those employees are being paid properly. We don't know the story behind that.
Right.
But when we come shop local, chances are the people you're buying from, that's paying their rent, that's putting food on their table for their family. And it doesn't matter how well off they are. The point is that they've taken time out of their life to open a store. I'm not saying you have to support and buy every single thing in everything in the shop, but to buy olive oil from Luca, who comes from a place that just grows olives and produces olive oil. To go to Mrs. Greenway and buy something that's environmentally friendly, that's beautiful. To go to the bike shop rather than going somewhere far, go and get motorcycle stuff over there. All these beautiful shops have something to offer, and the people behind them are even greater. So it's an awesome opportunity to get to know these people and even work with them when there's proposals. We get to meet and discuss what's best. And that's what I find. I find that a lot of times everyone's looking out for everybody. I say a prayer every day when I put incense out there for these shops to give them the business and the opportunity to feed their families, because I feel like that's what we're all doing. We tell customers about other businesses, not so that we can all just get secretly rich. It's so that we can get back to community. And that's what local shopping is supporting a community. That's where it starts. We can go bigger than that and say our country, but looking after Grimsby, then looking after Niagara, things like that, that makes a difference. That feeds everybody.
Right.
You know?
Well, thanks very much, Mark. It was a very interesting perspective on your business and Grimsby itself. And to be honest, I've learned a lot today. So I've been educated as well, and I'm very pleased with that. And I wish you nothing but success in the future. And again, thank you for being part of Local Leaders. Very much appreciated.
We appreciate it.
And look forward to seeing you on that metaphysical journey.
You got it. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you so much.